And I think when you look at, how many runs were inside the 10-yard line and, how many short yardage runs there were, I think, overall efficiency was pretty good. But, when you get in those types of situations, if it's 3rd and 2 and you make 3, that's pretty good. So I think that's more important. Look at the efficiency. We always want to be explosive. And yes, it's very important that we continue to get better because we know we need the running game down the road. We've got them in there once before. We haven't punted a whole bunch. I think the sample size is probably a mixed bag right now. We need to continually look at it, evaluate it, and make sure that we're doing what's best. But Joey will be our punter right now, and we work at it a lot. We work at it. It'll be the first thing we do on Tuesday, and I think we have the right guys in the game. We will take a look at that in terms of the protection and guys covering. So I think it's been solid, but I know we can do better. Well, they play hard. They're well coached. I think maybe the easy thing to do is to look at the record or look at maybe what happened last week and think that otherwise, but that's not the case. And this is a team that is has good players and is playing very hard. So we have to have a great week of practice, and you hear me say it all the time. We got to focus on us and our process, but knowing that when you turn on the film, last year they're playing LSU, this year they're playing Alabama. They're playing really good teams, and they've been right there with a bunch of them. So on the road, difficult environment, another big challenge for us. And I think it's important for us to recognize that this will be our 3rd game on the road in 4 games. This is a big focus for us. This 4-week window, and we want to make sure we finish this thing strong, because I felt like going in, we have an idea of what type of team we had, and knowing that going to Camp Randall is a huge challenge. So we got to go in and play our best football. We want to continually build, and so we need all hands on board. His goal is to win, and when you look at it from that point of view, you do everything you can to win that game. But then you take a step back and figure what gives us the best chance to reach our goals, and that's the way we look at it. And the idea of quote unquote style points, I guess, is probably a little bit more important before the 12-team playoff. Right now, it's about winning games, and that's what our focus has to be. Now, there's certain things that we're going to need to continue to win games that we have to continually make sure that we're focused on, recognize, and identify and address. So, those are things that on Sundays we come in and figure out what went well, what we need to get better at, and then being able to adapt in game based on what's going on. But when you go on the road and you can take care of the ball and with the turnover battle 3-0, you have to give yourself a great chance to win. And so that was the story of that game, in my opinion. But there's going to be other games, and we have to be able to adapt with those games based on what's going on, and that's our job to be prepared for those.
What are the unique challenges that has?
Well, I don't think it's bad for everybody. I think it's actually good for a lot of teams, but the teams that are making it late into the playoffs are really up against the 8 ball, because not only are they forced to make decisions while they're still playing, and a lot of them school have started already by the time their season's over. But once the season is over, there's a 5-week or a 5-day window where the transfer portal is open, and then there's no opportunity to replace those guys for the teams who are in that situation. So I'm not sure how they expect the teams who are in that situation to replace the players that are leaving in that moment. There's no more chance. So I've brought this up several times. Apparently it's gone on deaf ears, but we obviously want to be in that situation. But whoever it is probably going to wake up and say, wait a minute, this isn't right. I have 5 or 6 guys that I need to replace on my roster, and I can't now. So at that point, maybe somebody will listen. But as of now, they decided to make the rule, and we all have to deal with it. So nobody cares, so move on. That's the way it goes, and that's just the way we'll look at it. So we'll get our plan together and go from there. I think the first thing is, when you come in the building every day, you have to identify, what your focus is and what your goal is. And, our focus is on these young men and making them better. And winning allows us an opportunity to continue to do that. And This is the most competitive environment there is in the world, and it's getting more and more competitive every day, as we know. And this is what you signed up for. I mean, we're in this environment because we chose to be, and it's ultra competitive. And so you got to bring it every day, and you surround yourself with great people, and you attack every day the best way you can. And that's it. And you can't worry about what happened yesterday. You can't worry about what's going on tomorrow. You just maximize the day, and then you push forward and try to surround yourself with great people. And when the moments are great, you enjoy them. When the moments aren't, you hang in there and you push through, and you figure out a plan moving forward, and then you go from there. And that's it. And I think when you're in the season, you're kind of in the ocean. You're kind of getting banged around a little bit. You don't really see any land anywhere near, but that's okay. You just keep rowing. You keep moving forward. So that's it. And we got another big challenge this week because everybody we play against wants to win. They have good players. They have good coaches, and it's extremely tough. It's a different. The surfaces are different. When you're in like the game with one tight end, two tight ends, and three tight ends, it all brings different things to the table. And then you look at the whole on. When you give something, you get something. When you put 12 in the game, they have to make a decision. Do they go to base or do they go to nickel? And then from there, you kind of build and you go and you try to identify what their plan is. And when you have these multiple groupings in the game, you have to have balance, but also you have to look at it like not just the running game, but like what does the passing game look like? That maybe open some things up in different areas. Like we have to decide all of those things. And when you have tight ends who can run routes and when you have receivers that will block, then it can kind of get great for them. Is it 11 light? Is it 11 big? Is it, all these different things? And so that's where I think now that we have 6 games of information, we're starting to really identify what our guys do well, and we need to keep focusing on those types of things, putting our guys in a situation to be successful, so that when it all comes, down to the end of the season, we're putting guys in the best position to be successful. There's certain things that guys have shown they can do. There's certain things that we've seen that guys maybe can't do, and that we got to stop forcing it. Other things guys got to step up and show us that they can't do. So it's this back and forth, but that's the journey of a team. That's the growth of a team that we're working towards. And as long as we keep having great weeks of practice, then that'll give us a chance to keep getting better. Well, yeah. To be honest, yeah. James, anytime you're somewhere for as long as he has, he did a lot of great things, and we had a lot of great games against each other. So, yeah, maybe take a chance to reflect on it all. But he's going to land on his feet. He's a really good coach. But then you got to get back to work, and so yeah, that's the world we live in, and yeah, it's something that I think for all of us, we just need to make sure that we focus on what matters to us, and what's at hand. And, I said it before, like whether it's the negative things or the positive things or things like that, those are all kind of noise out there that we have to just stay focused on. There's a lot that comes at you, whether you're at a player or as a coach, and our ability to focus and concentrate on what's important is what's critical, and that's what we got to do. Look at the numbers on who wins the explosive play battle in each game. The percentages are very significant. You add that with turnovers, then it really becomes significant. So, but there's give and take to all of those things, and so you can't. It's not just one thing, as you know, but every little bit helps. And so I think you guys understand that. On Tuesday practice, we focus on 4 things: the first down battle, which is 4 yards on both sides of the ball; the rushing yards, we got to win the rushing game; turnovers, and then exploits. That's a Tuesday. So those guys can all tell you that. We get out there at practice today, and that's not going to change. Call them Bloody Tuesdays around here, so we'll have to get cranked up here in about 2 hours.
Right behind him, Tony Kirk.
And number 2, last week you emphasized, hey, this defense is playing really well, but some turnovers. Forces of turnovers are really helping. Boom, you got it. What are you emphasizing this week?
Well, it's everything. Whether it's special teams, punt return, kickoff return. I thought we had a nice kickoff return. It got us up to the 35-yard line. It's like you just keep swinging and fighting and cracking at the rock, and eventually it will crack. But or swinging at the rock, and eventually it will crack. And that's it in all areas. So there's some things that we've seen that we have to continue to improve on. We talked last week. We hadn't got a bunch of turnovers, but we focused on it. We emphasized it, and all of a sudden it popped up. So that's got to be us moving forward. But there's a lot of other areas. as you know what they are. I won't get into them right now, but that's it, and that's the game. So, that's the only thing we can do is get back to work. In terms of the portal, yeah, I just felt like, it needed to be after the season was over. Wherever that is, and there's great conversation in the Big Ten, head coaches about, some teams are on quarters, some teams are on semesters, some schools graduate sooner than others, and so, there was a lot of great discussion on where that window should be, a lot of give and take. But that was the big thing for me, is that, the season has to be over, and then at least we can make decisions from there. Again, I won't get into all the details now, we gotta worry about Wisconsin, and so maybe this is a conversation for another day, but I do have pretty strong feelings about it.